I mean, Scump has always been literally like
Yeah.
greatest, but
True, yeah.
besides that,
Yeah, there's some
You,
no
you,
one else. That,
you didn't see the house that Scump lived in back in the day?
did you play with him? I mean, that's all I heard back then. I don't know.
oh man, yo, you are old. That. Your Fortnite World Cup champion, Bugha. Hey, just like
The
yesterday,
round of
huh?
applause, dude. I love the little round
Just
of
like
applause.
yesterday, huh, Bugha? We just that should just happen.
Yeah, that was
no,
crazy,
no,
bro.
listen. We'll get into it, but I just had to throw that in there for the intro of today's guest. Welcome back to the CouRage and Nadeshot Show. We have got the king. We've got on the Mount Rushmore of Fortnite, in my opinion. We have one of those four faces. It is none other than the Fortnite World Cup champion, Bugha. He's obviously a professional Fortnite player for Sentinels with over 4 million subscribers on YouTube and nearly 5 million followers on Twitch. He's won 2 PC Gamer of the Year awards as well as Esports PC Rookie of the Year. I would say you're probably most well known for winning one of the most viewed gaming or esports moments of all time, the 2019 solo Fortnite World Cup Championship. But I think largely, I think that yes, the winner of that tournament would have seen a ton of support, but the fashion in which you won it. I know Nate Shot was there in person. I was there, obviously casting. You wiped the floor with the competition that day. And now you're here on our show. So sorry things have gone so downhill, Bugha.
Yeah, it's been bad. It's all south since then. No, I'm playing. Thanks for having me, guys.
I appreciate you taking time to do the community service that your parents probably instilled in you. Yo, listen, to be honest with you, man, I've seen a lot of esports tournaments in the past, and I think Jack actually, with that introduction, refreshed my mind of how dominant it actually was. I think after like the fifth or sixth game out of I think it was the 10 that you guys played, you already like had an unbelievable lead. I don't think we'll see somebody dominate a Fortnite tournament in that fashion with that much on the line since the World Cup. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, especially the stage that you guys were on. I know we have like people in West and East and all over the world that play in different regions that are still running in tournaments that not as many people are watching, or at least mainstream like esports coverage is actually talking about. But obviously, you're still competing. But back then, I just think with the weight of the world on your shoulders, with how young you were, like if everybody understands the context of the situation and the scenario you found yourself in, I don't think anybody could have ever, like, performed or done better than you did, which is pretty unbelievable to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely crazy. I don't even know. Say lands do come back. I mean, it would be crazy to see something like that nowadays occur because of the way that all the players have increased and everything. Everyone has gotten so much better at the game. Skill gap has rise. I mean, that would just be insane. But I mean, hopefully we can be back there. Hopefully we can do it again. And obviously, me being 16 at that time, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that kind of helped me more than anything because I had no concept of anything I was playing for. Pretty much, like I was just a clueless little kid running into the tournament, just trying to win it, just trying to have fun, have a good time. And honestly, like I think that was the thing that pushed me over and made me play the best. Yeah, I wasn't sitting there worried about the money. Was I gonna get this? Was I gonna get that? Like I was just focused on the goal to win.
That's actually a great perspective and something that
Yeah.
I've the question I have for you, the one that comes to mind first is what I always like to ask young kids that are still in school when they perform at a high level, win a tournament. Obviously, the magnitude of the World Cup was unprecedented for any tournament that I've seen in North America for a shooter. You know, we have like the international and Dota, but more times than not, when people walk away with that cash, they're not living in the West or in the United States. And so for you, with how big Fortnite was back then and the money that you walked away with, when you got back home, and I know people probably asked you this question before, what was your personal life like with kids at school? And especially in my mind, what I always think about is the ladies at home too. Like, it must have been a whirlwind. I can't even imagine coming home walking into school the next day with everybody knowing that I just walked away with 3 million cash. Like, come on, bro. What are we talking about? Tell me that felt as cool as I picture it.
All right, well, it wasn't as cool because pretty much that was the summer leading into I think it was my junior year. It was the summer leading in my junior year that I won. So I didn't actually end up going back to school right away. I did online school. But I remember there was a point I went in for picture day or something like that, like a few months down the line. And it's just for your yearbook, like a picture. And I just walked through the halls and everything, and I had all the kids hyping me up. Like it was so crazy. It's just a weird feeling to have because like these were my peers, these were the people I was going to school with every single day. Then you walk into school and they're like idolizing you as if you're some god or something. And I don't know, it was a weird experience, but I'm thankful for that. Super crazy, but yeah, I
Tell me
mean,
some girls from home if you didn't have a
yeah,
girlfriend were sliding into the DMs, bro.
I'm
Listen, you
not,
don't have to give
yeah,
us the details, but please tell me there was like an uptick in Bugha traffic with the girls in your high school.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I came home to a few, Snapchats, people trying to contact me,
Oh,
talk to me. They weren't talking to me before, but then I come there and
Damn.
they're spamming my phone. But I was focused on the goal, just to
yeah,
compete and play.
they wasn't with you shooting in the gym, and that
Mm-mm.
is a fact.
Mm.
Exactly.
They weren't in creative mode with you doing building one by ones. Uh, I actually, when talking about high school before that, I want to hear did people know like how good you were before the World Cup or before you won? Like, did people were like, oh my god, he qualified for that big tournament, or was it just like you kind of laid low about it, and
Yeah,
then
right.
everyone found out?
So I remember like everyone in my school pretty much knew I played video games because Fortnite was blowing up. It was a big thing, and then in every single school, everyone had named their like best Fortnite player of their school pretty much. Like that was the big thing going on during that time, early high school. That was everything. So I guess I was crowned like the best Fortnite player in my school at that time. That was before I accomplished anything. Like I used to, play creative against people and beat them, and everyone, would hype me up in school. The seniors when I was a freshman were like, "Yo, you're crazy, add me, let's play." Um, and yeah, eventually I ended up getting signed, and I think that was when people realized like, okay, wait, this kid's actually, he's pretty good. And I used to make some montages back then, some videos, and I remember in my first period chemistry class, I remember I walk in, I'm just chilling. It's like 7 a.m. I'm dead tired, just sitting there with my head, and I'm just like looking down, so tired. And I walk in, and the students around me start talking about me, and they tell my teacher to put on the projector one of my videos. And I'm just sitting there, and they're playing my montage like 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was just like, wow, I'm just not ready for this. Like, but that just
Wow.
went on. All the teachers knew me as a Fortnite player. And then I qualified eventually for the World Cup, and obviously they all heard about that. And I remember my Spanish teacher was making me tell everybody out loud about how I qualified. And I was a pretty like down to earth, humble guy, and I feel like I still am. And I didn't want to talk about that because it's just I don't want to go out and flex and start talking about money or anything. And I don't know, they were making me say how I won 50,000 already,
Yep.
and
Bro, fuck humility. I would have been walking in there like Floyd Mayweather, like walking into Vegas.
I mean, it
I,
was just weird because, like, I was so young, and it was just weird to experience that.
I
Yeah.
just I can't not revisit. Listen, I don't want to sound like a psychopath in any way, but I've thought about this because like when I won COD XP back in 2011, and it was like 100 grand, and I won it the summer after I had already graduated from high school, so I never like got to for all the girls that I never talked to, they knew that I played video games, and it was like this disgusting hobby that they thought I was this hermit, and I was, so don't get me wrong. But, bro, tell
Yeah.
me like, you had to have had a crush on one girl or, like the most popular girls in school. Tell me at least one in, like, the entire ecosystem of popular women at your school, like, that you thought would never send you a message did, please. That's all I ask, and so the last thing I'll bring it up.
Uh, I honestly I think that was
Damn
the
it.
time where I didn't, like I mean, honestly, like, I don't think I was really talking to anyone at that time. I think previously before that I was, but that's literally for the fact that I was like hard grinding Fortnite. Like that's the reason I didn't talk to anybody because I'm just straight
Okay.
gaming every day. So I mean, I didn't really care. I was just doing my thing, playing video games, going to school and just coming home 2:30 till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just grinding, like literally
All
no
right. That's
life.
fair. That's fair. I'm off it now. We're gonna jump into Cash App here in a second. But before we do that, since I don't have the document in front of me, I'm gonna have Jack do it. Before we do that, I'm gonna ask one more question. And I don't want to sound like traditional media because I had the same question asked me a million times. But I'm curious from your perspective, even if you have talked about it before. You say 2:30 till like 1 a.m. Your parents were cool with this. Did they understand like the actual impact that you were trying to make on your career or how much you enjoyed playing and how much money you could potentially earn in the future? Was it hard for you to have a back and forth like, "Hey, I'm actually doing something here. Please just like don't give me a hard time and let me play."
Yeah, so the number one thing my parents set as pretty much like a rule, when I was growing up and I just wanted to, do other things or spend time on other things was I had to have my grades set and they had to be good. So as long as I was getting A's and B's in school, they were fine with it. Um, sometimes a little occasional C that they would get mad at because chemistry was hard, bro. I'm not gonna
Yeah, hey,
lie.
that this shit don't make no sense.
Exactly, and, yeah, I mean, they've always been pretty supportive, but at first they were kinda questioning it because I was spending every day playing, and I also, before I got into the crazy no life gaming, I was playing sports in my school and all that, and I kinda stepped away a little bit from that just because of the amount of time it took and, how tired it made me. I'd come home and I just, I can't even play. I'm just dead tired after a full day. Um, so I stepped away from some of my sports and they were questioning it. They didn't really like it at first, but I had to push some barriers here and there. I remember it started off as, I had a bedtime as everyone did. It was around, 10:30 to 11 and I remember I remember hopping in bed, they all go to sleep and I'm sitting there hopping out of bed, 10 minutes later after they fall asleep and I'm getting on my PC. I'm staying up for an extra 3 hours just nonstop playing that they didn't know about. Um, I told them about that too, so I'm not leaking anything here, but yeah,
Oh,
they found out about that and they were a little bit mad at first, but it kind
That's
of
the
just
extra
eased into
push,
it a little
brother.
bit.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
extra push that nobody knew about except for you. And
Yep. And then
it's
yeah.
wild to think how that compounds and you end up becoming one of the biggest names in
It
all of
yeah, it adds
gaming.
up, it honestly does. All of that does. And then
no,
I
it
got signed
was.
and they supported it, like, super hard, so
Yeah, well, I remember talking to your dad after the World Cup finals, and we'll get
yeah.
it all into that. Matt did mention, got to give a quick shout out real quick to the group that keeps the lights on here at the Courage and Nadeshot Show, quite literally. Cash App, as you guys know, we've been partnered with Cash App for years now. If you don't use Cash App at this point and you've watched Courage and Nadeshot Show this whole time, you quite literally hate Nadeshot Night. It's the only at this point,
Facts.
only logical explanation. Cash App allows you to own any piece of any stock with just $1. Bugha won $3 million, but he could have just used one of those dollars to invest, in any piece of any stock. Cash App investing is free to use and also free of fees. Uh, Rich people invest in stocks. You should too. Cash App is also now available for anyone over the age of 13 and older. Learn more at Cash App, uh, cash.app/13 plus. And finally, if you don't have Cash App, download today. Use code Twitch TV and you get a free $15. The $15 quite literally just spawns into your account out of thin air. And now you can use it as you wish, maybe to invest in any stock for just $1, which is free of fees. But there you go. Thank you, Cash App, so much for the continued support here on the Courage and Nadeshot Show. Bugha, you have this huge peak, right? This crazy day in the World Cup. You win, you go completely nuclear with your social medias. I remember after I finished casting and the celebration had already started for you. Looking at your socials and just seeing the numbers, like it was like 25,000 followers every minute. Um, then after that, your streams blow up. You're doing so well, but I do want to ask you questions too about post World Cup. The state of Fortnite now and things to get into because it wasn't all roses for you post World Cup in regards to competition, if I'm not mistaken. You have now won the most recent big Grand Royale tournament, which we'll talk about, but walk me through a little bit when it came down to just the nitty-gritty competition. What that was like for you to go from winning the biggest tournament ever to, I remember seeing some pretty harsh criticisms of your gameplay, and trios leaving and duos splitting up. Walk me through that a bit for you mentally, how that was.
Yeah, so, after World Cup, obviously a lot of big things happened. My socials all grew. Started streaming more consistently. I started putting a lot more of my focus kind of into the content creation world, whereas before that I was just fully focused on competitive.
Yep.
And I feel like a little bit of that did take a toll on how well I played. So after a little bit of time, I felt like I wasn't performing as, highly as I should have been, which is, honestly kind of always been an issue, the balance between content creation and competitive. Uh, but I mean, there was a time where, I streamed and there's this one season, pretty harsh on, controller players. And I might have said a few things back then, got mad, but that was a little bit of a down bad moment. But besides that, I mean, I've just always tried to compete and, do content at the same time, which is sometimes a hard balance just because streaming tournaments isn't the most ideal and it's not something I completely enjoy doing. Um, so after a little bit of time, I kind of eased into it. Uh, I just got used to it overall. I mean, because at first it was just I was blown away by everything that was occurring and just
Yeah.
couldn't focus on straight competitive, which is honestly like my drive for everything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I kind of got in the ease of it and just competed in all the grands, everything like that, and as of recently, won the most two recent trio tournaments.
Bang bang.
So feel like I'm getting a little bit back into my groove. So yeah, I mean, still competing, doing all that.
I love it. You know what? I had Mr. Savage at the office. I took him around the neighborhood, showed him the compound. He had been here before, but it's been 2 years because he was stuck with COVID, which sucked. But I was just talking to him a little bit about Fortnite and a lot of the other kids that he came up with, and they were gonna go shopping after he was done here because needs to pick up a suit because he's going to the Game Awards here in a couple days. And we were talking about all these young kids coming up in Fortnite. Whenever you'd see them at an event, they're walking around with like designer bags, spending money on shoes, really just blowing all the money that they were making. Which, to be honest with you, it's like depending on how well they were doing, I actually kind of like to see it. These young kids have an opportunity to buy some nice things, working hard. But for some of them, I was like, whoa, 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 hey, let's slow down here. We don't Fortnite's still pretty new. We got to make sure that we can sustain this. But I'm curious for somebody who probably walked away with the most prize money so far to anybody still in Fortnite. What was the moment when you received the check? You got $3 million. Obviously, you got to pay taxes. I'm sure your parents made sure that happened. But did you do anything nice for yourself, or did you sort of forget it, set it and forget it?
Yeah, so when I first got the money, um I remember claiming it and I was just kind of blown away. I was just looking at the number and I was like, wow, like I really won that. That
You
is
gotta pinch
that is
yourself.
dumb. Like that is crazy. Um but because of the way I guess I'll say I was raised, I never spent money. Like I never did anything regarding money. I always wanted to save it. That's why my mom and my grandpa were always telling me, they're like, just save your money, save your money. And they kind of, put that into my brain. So I got the money and honestly just put it aside, did really nothing with it. My only big, I guess, purchase you could say is my car. That's the only thing I've really purchased. I was a little bit crazy. Um,
What'd you pick up?
I got a Tesla Model S
Oh, hell
about,
yeah, bro. It's honestly very modest in comparison to like a $3 million. You could have done much, much worse than that.
yeah, it's just good overall, all around car. So does my job. I don't even go outside enough to even use it. Like, that thing is almost brand new.
Did you have
And
your permit when you won? Could you even driven it?
I I think I had my permit before, and then I think I got my license after, but
Okay, good,
yeah, I
good.
just saved it.
All right,
Nice.
brother.
So you
Okay.
have,
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
$3
funny.
million though. I can't even fathom what that would have looked like sitting in my bank account. I'm not even sure if you had a bank account at the time. Did you?
I think I think I had something. It, I don't even know. I think a part of it was with my dad or something. I forget how it even works.
Well, one thing that I remember, relating it back, I know I brought up COD XP earlier, but when I walked in with a much smaller check, like 93 grand, I had a bank account already, but obviously you're not going to deposit the thing over the app that you have for whatever bank you're a part of. So you had to physically go in and talk to a bank teller. And I'm curious what their face looked like when you walked in and just slipped it over the counter. Yeah, I'd like to make it like a deposit today. Did you have an experience in that manner?
um, I honestly forget how we even deposited
Oh,
it.
come
Is
on,
it
bro.
because okay, well, the thing is that I redeemed it on a website. Like, I literally redeemed it as if you would redeem any other competitive earning, $400 from a cash cup. That's the same way that I redeemed it for that. It
What?
was yeah, it was the tax form, and then all you have to do is confirm that it's going to the right, banking address, I guess, and then
They did it
Oh,
under the
so
same
they didn't
portal they
so
did all their
yeah,
okay, so you
yeah,
didn't get, like, a
same for him.
physical check. It
No,
was like
I
a
yeah,
wire transfer.
yeah, exactly,
I don't know
exactly.
what the hell I'm thinking. I guess technology has come a
Yeah, it
long
is
a
You think
long
they're
time.
walking around with a
it
big
isn't a
3,000,000
Nike.
check. Like,
Yeah. You take the big check they gave you into the bank with
I
the
think
It's
I was
like
getting
Billy
robbed before
that's what they
that.
did in, Happy Gilmore. He was just like, "Yeah, we're I want one of those big checks like him," and he's just got all the big checks in his car driving to the bank. Dude, I feel like a fucking idiot now.
It's
I don't
okay.
know why I didn't even think about that.
It's
All
okay.
good.
Don't worry, Matt.
God damn it.
I think what's been really cool to watch with you too, Booga, is that you've done so many and had so many incredible opportunities in regards to you went on what Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yep,
After
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
you went on Jimmy Fallon, you've got your own skin in Fortnite. I think you're the only like true competitive player, not content creator,
Yep.
first that has it. You uh have now won again post World Cup with the most recent grands. You've had uh, your own stuff in stores across America. You've got your Hollister partnership. What for you outside of achieving the Fortnite World Cup championship? Is it getting back on top with competition that meant the most to you? Was it the skin in the game? Was it making affordable gaming products for kids out there to be able to go and buy and hopefully, kickstart their dream? What has meant the most to you personally?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being able to, give back to a lot of the people, that's something that I would say would be everybody's, dream to be able to do that is in the gaming space or even any space. Just being able to give back in any type of way is crazy. And super grateful for that.
Yeah.
But obviously, deep down, the one thing that I'm super, I guess, proud of myself for is always staying like a competitive person because that is what the 16-year-old me wanted to do. And that is something that, I'll continue pushing forward doing. Um, that's kind of like my number one drive for everything. It's just my competitiveness. And, you know, I always want to stay true to myself. That's the number one thing. So kind of just how it's been.
It's really cool to see that even through everything, you've still continued to achieve, push and still have the drive to compete and do more,
Yeah.
even when there hasn't been lands now for pushing towards 2 years for Fortnite. One critique that I think Fortnite's had a lot of, a critique that I think a lot of people have had for Fortnite competition is the toxicity that can go on, especially between players
Yeah.
and a lot of younger players out there. You are and always have been someone who I think has been a great face for competitive Fortnite. Is there a message that you can give that if there was one thing you could tell these other players, what would be like, is there anything you could share on here that you'd be like, just stop being a dumbass, maybe?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was 16, I might have been pretty dumb too. I might have been coming at people's necks too. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just it's hard to see it from that perspective when you're in that position. You're just playing for fun. When I was 16, I was just playing for fun, just trying to compete, make any earnings I could. Wasn't really worried about the bigger picture at that time. And
Yeah.
then once you kind of achieve some things, it starts settling in and you start understanding that a lot of it is about a process of, connections and not wanting to start off on the wrong foot with any people because in the competitive scene that does get you a far way. Your connections do. You can get really good teammates. Just get good information from other people if you know them. So I guess a good message for just anyone out there competing is just, try not to be stupid. I mean, try your hardest. I know it's hard in competitive games. You just want to go off on people sometimes, but
Yeah,
just hold
bro.
it
But
down.
what I will say though, not to cut. Sorry if that I was
Oh, you're
cutting you
good.
off
You're
there.
good.
I just think like yes, the toxicity is a problem, or people talk about it, but the majority, I would say, the demographic of people that are playing competitive Fortnite are much much younger than other
Yeah.
games, and
Yeah.
people need to give that some thought. All right. When you're 16 and nobody's making money and everybody's trying to be the best, I don't know about you, but I fucking hated everybody else. Like all I wanted to do was win and prove to them that I was better.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
shit talk is gonna happen. I mean, you got kids that are going through like puberty, testosterone's hitting,
Yep.
everybody wants to be the alpha, everybody wants to
Mm.
be the best. And of course, there is a line. And
Exactly.
everybody needs to make sure that they stay above that line and treat people with like respect to them as a human being, and you can't cross that line. All right, but I
100%.
still think trash talk and banter is actually a very good thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want to be the asshole that's just the most toxic player on the server and nobody can tolerate. But I think the storylines are good. Like if players genuinely don't like each other, I think that was the worst thing that happened in competitive Call of Duty. Like we've been around for so long. Everybody is friends now. Everybody loves each other. Everybody off the game is going out, grabbing a drink. And for some reasons, I love that. And other reasons, I think it's worse for Call of Duty for the storylines and the entertainment aspect. Because at the end of the day, that's what professional sports is. It's a product of entertainment. So can the Fortnite community be less toxic? Yes. Does it absolutely need to be? No. Just don't cross these lines that are set in stone, and
Yeah.
try not generally not to be just a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm all for the in-game trash talk here and there, but I think when it gets like super personal, I think that's weird. And like I've
100%.
I've seen that in the Fortnite scene because a lot of the people are younger, so they will say things that are like like that are way out of control. Because in the
Yeah.
COD
Way
league,
out of pocket.
yeah, you had to be older in the COD leagues. Any esports like nowadays, I mean, you got to be 18 plus. I think it is. Uh, Not Fortnite though, so. It's a little bit weird when you deal with those situations,
It's the
right?
nature of the internet, man. It's the nature of
Literally.
anonymity. It's the nature of being young and stupid.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I think
Happens.
as this world is getting bigger and kids are coming into the fold at a younger age, I think we'll see this less. Because more times than not, I feel like there's being a standard that is elevating every year after year after year, in terms of like what's acceptable on social media or what's acceptable in in-game chat. So I think kids are gonna just generally be smarter by a younger age, just because they've been around it now. It's like every kid has a phone. Every kid
Yeah, they
is
just get
on
into
the
it
internet.
younger.
Yeah. So I think it's all good, man. And what Jack said earlier, I actually agree with completely. I think that you've been one of the best people that could have ever won the World Cup, because going on all these shows and late night television and all these media outlets, you could tell your parents raised a good kid. You got a good head on your shoulders and you're very well spoken. And that to me is priceless. Like props to you for that in itself, because
I appreciate it.
your world changed overnight, and there's only 0.00001% of people on this earth that will ever experience what you did, and you handled it like a fucking champion. So I think that's something like, you can look back on all the money, you can look back on the career that it helped you succeed in, but I think the broader Fortnite community and the broader esports community should be more appreciative of how you carried yourself and how you represented the gaming industry, because it's not an easy thing to do. You didn't ask for it, you didn't expect it, but here you were, and you knocked it out of the park. So congrats to you. I wanted to make sure that I said that, because even though I wasn't really following competitive Fortnite as closely as some other organizations, I mean, we had Elevate and Cease, Mr. Savage been rocking with us, Arkham and Falconer came over, and Rex has been representing us really, really well. It's really like it's not an easy thing to do what you accomplished, and I got to watch every evolution of most esports. So I just want to make sure that you heard from me how much I respect what you did and what you continue to do, brother. It's not something that you ever expect to do, but you fucking did it anyways.
Oh, thank you. Means a lot.
Yeah, brother. How's everything been with Sentinels? I mean, obviously, Fortnite not the biggest focus for the tier one organizations. It's not being talked about as much, even though we still have a lot of love for our players. It's not as engaging on social as it used to be, but I still think there's a very tight knit community that loves competitive Fortnite. We're trying to figure out if the World Cup's ever going to make a return. But Sentinels, I have a ton of respect for too, with the players that they sign, the teams that they build. They do a really great job. Seemingly came out of nowhere, and you've been with them for a couple years now. I'm curious, like, how that experience has been.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Had a good time, playing alongside a lot of my close friends. A lot of the people that I first started gaming in competitive Fortnite with are on that team. Um, so yeah, we're just a big family. Obviously now they got like a super crazy Valorant team. Um, they've been doing pretty good. A lot of stuff happening over in Valorant. So I don't blame
Cool.
them for putting a lot of shine onto Valorant, because Fortnite hasn't really had any, crazy lands or anything huge right now, so it's a little bit down. But
You know what's funny too is with Halo Infinite releasing, you guys actually
yeah,
have one of the best
yeah,
Halo teams. But it's wild to think, when Jack and I were growing up, if you didn't play Halo, you weren't living. So you probably have never played Halo. I don't want
no,
to make
I
that
I played
assumption.
Halo. I
Oh
played
hell
Halo.
yeah, let's fucking go.
I got in young. Like when I started playing games, it was kindergarten, literally.
Oh my god. Wait, wait, wait,
My
wait.
my
When
dad
do you
has
know
been
what
gaming
Halo was
forever.
out?
I mean, I played it with my dad when I was super young. I remember my dad and his, I think like a neighborhood friend. They always played and they always, let me play with them. So I always hopped on there. My dad was teaching me stuff, and it's honestly like it's great. It adds up.
Brother, I cannot believe how old I feel right now. Like, I don't wanted this to be like a continuous theme as I get older to always talk about how old I feel, but the fact that your dad, your pops,
Yep.
literally was playing Halo with a neighborhood friend while you were rolling around little tyke picking up the controller. Oh my god, bro, am I aging out or what? So, have you picked up Infinite? Bro, your ass needs to be on, ranked play playing with, like, Frosty with keyboard and mouse. I bet
Yeah.
you'd be disgusting. That'd be fun to watch.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna. I think we have some plan. Like I think I'm gonna play with them here soon. But
that'd be sick.
yeah, I think I've tried it out. I tried it out the other day on my dad's console, and I mean it was pretty good. There's new maps and everything, so pretty dope. I haven't gave it like a full in-depth try yet, but from what I saw, it looks cool.
So your dad plays video games from time to time?
Oh my gosh, that is literally that dude's life. Like he's played video games since he was a child and
Didn't
up
he
till
show you
now.
Fortnite?
Yeah. So originally, like, I think he saw the save the world aspect of it, and I think he said something to me,
Yeah.
and that kind of rang a bell in my head. And then I remember when it came out free to play the battle royale on, I think it was PS4. Yeah, it was PS4. I remember all my friends told me, and then I remembered my dad said something about it, so I hopped on and played, and it's great.
Brother, wait, I would love to talk to your dad at some point.
Oh my
Obviously not for
gosh.
this show, but it must be such a crazy psychology to have his son is literally a trained
Yo,
killer just sitting in his room beating
The-
ass.
yo, when you
it's
grow
so
up and you're
funny.
like, I'm gonna get my big brother to fight on the playground, except he's like my son will 1v1 you. When someone shit talks him in an online game.
I
Oh
think
my
the
god.
funniest thing is when I'm in here playing and he plays literally right out there in a room. He's just laying back on a reclining chair with his keyboard and his controller, and he just full rages. Like he gets so mad. It is the funniest thing ever because I just sit here and hear that all day. Yeah, it's awesome having. You know, I think honestly, like it's really cool to have a supportive figure that understands gaming.
Mm.
Because that's just helped me majorly. It's
Yeah.
just
This
something
is
that's so
first
helpful.
generation too. Like, you are literally the first generation that's ever gonna have that dynamic where your dad actually games and sits there and plays, and his son is one of the biggest names in all of competitive gaming. I find that so fascinating. I
It's
find that
cool, yeah.
so fascinating.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it's pretty wild to think about the fact that gaming is where it is now, and I believe that it's gonna be even more accepted when our generation and begins to have kids and gets raised in video games. Imagine what it's gonna be like from then on out. It's gonna be mind blowing.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Halo is upon us. I feel like a kid again. 2007, we had the major releases of every shooter that we loved, and my favorite at that time was Halo. And right now, Halo is in the rotation for the games that I'm playing this holiday season. And Chipotle has quite an opportunity for you. You can customize your Halo Infinite experience with challenge swaps from Chipotle. Until December 31st, use promo code HALO117. Again, that's Halo117. If you guys don't know, 117 is the moniker that is used for Master Chief. So Halo117 at checkout in the Chipotle app or on Chipotle.com to unlock 5 Halo Infinite challenge swaps. Challenge swaps are how you customize your experience, so trust me, these 5 are very important, and you will love Chipotle for a very long time, and you get one of your favorite meals that you could have along with leveling up. Chipotle Rewards members can also redeem challenge swaps in the Rewards Exchange. So learn more at chipotle.com/Halo. Halo multiplayer has been just an unbelievable experience. Ranked play, they absolutely nailed it.
Yes, they did.
One of the few candidates I think that should be in the realm of discussion for Game of the Year.
And Team Slayer, Team SWAT, Fiesta, and FFA all come out tomorrow.
Oh my God. So we got new ways to play Halo Infinite. So you want to get those challenge swaps and get yourself some Chipotle. So don't miss out on your chance to redeem your challenge swaps with Chipotle. Promo code HALO117 at checkout. Go get some Chipotle.
I know Matt asked you about Halo and playing that a little bit, but I actually want to backtrack to Valorant for 1 second because
Okay.
you played a lot of Valorant, if I'm not mistaken. Did you ever consider competing in Valorant?
Okay. Yeah. So Valorant, when that game, I think I forget when I exactly got into it, but I remember it was being really hyped up. And
Yep.
Sen got that Val team. It wasn't at first that I hopped into the game, but I think it took some time. But switching over to an FPS game from a third person shooter slash building game,
Yep.
it was really fun because I've always had a goal where like I want to be good at all types and all genres of games, and I've never really been good at an FPS game like that. So I grinded out Valorant, hit the highest ranking. I put a lot of time into it. And honestly, at one point, I was watching all the tournaments, everything like that, and I was like, you know what? Like this looks really fun. The lands, the team interactions, how the game is just broadcasted and shown. Like I really enjoyed it. So at
Yeah.
one point, there was a thought that went through my head. It was like, if I wanted to, like, I could probably grind this game and maybe even switch over. And that was when I'm not sure if I was enjoying Fortnite as much because obviously I was putting a lot of time into Valorant. I think it was the off season of Fortnite. So, I thought a little bit about it, but I never took any big steps or did anything like that. But it's always been a little, a thought in the back of my head. Like if I wanted to, maybe I could switch over to an FPS down the road.
Hmm.
Who knows?
No, that's cool. That's cool to think because I do remember some of the critiques that I saw from fellow players was like, "Hey, Bugha, stop playing Valorant, get and grind and grind
Literally, yeah.
Fortnite, bro. Get back on top." And I'm like, I'm kind of enjoying seeing him play a bit of this, man.
Yeah.
Well, brother, to be honest with you, if you could play at that high of a level, I was literally talking about this with Mr. Savage when we were driving around. Like, look, man, you haven't been streaming as much. I think you should definitely prioritize streaming. You're 17 years old. You have an
I'm 18.
opportunity to make yeah, well, no, I'm sorry. Mr. Savage is 17, you're
Oh,
18.
okay.
But I was telling him, I'm like, you've been doing this now for 2 years since you were 15, even longer than that. And streaming should definitely be a priority, but you shouldn't be afraid to play other games and stream those games. Because he's got
Yep.
a similar mindset to Symphony, where he won't play games online on stream unless he's really good at them. And I'm thinking to myself, watching a killer like Mr. Savage progress as quickly as he would playing a new game is half the fun. And so
Exactly.
watching you, just knowing how skillful you are, one of the most mechanically intensive games in shooter history, you could play at a professional level, in my mind, with no doubt, if you put in the proper time and understood the differences between the games. I think it'd be a walk in the park for you in comparison to other individuals. What's great too, you don't have to go through the networking bullshit. That's not
Yeah.
half the battle, but like part of the battle for making it as a professional player. I
Helps a
mean,
lot.
brother, you've got the golden ticket. You should do anything and everything that your heart desires. So if it's Valorant or another shooter in the next 2, 3, 5 years, I would love to see you take on another challenge. Like watching people like you and how good you are play other games. Look at Shroud. That's why Shroud is as big as he is. Dude was
Yeah.
playing CS:GO competitively, and then hit the wave at the right time with PUBG, and then went to a different fucking atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would love to watch you play other games.
Yeah, I mean, the only I feel like Valorant is the only game that I really stepped into while I've been on my Fortnite journey. But yeah, like you said, the progression of getting better, that's something that I really enjoyed when I was playing. And also, I feel like there was a factor in there where like I was super bad when I first started and I never really was good at the game. So if I'm streaming it, I can't really get clowned for being bad because I've just never tried it. So I feel like that was like a cushion for me when I was playing that game. In the back of my head, because obviously mental is a lot coming into competitive stuff. In the back of my head, I was like, all right. I mean, I'm not really gonna care if I do bad because I've never played. Compared to Fortnite, like if I was streaming and I did super bad, like I would get really upset because
Yeah.
you know.
Had you ever played CS before or no? I don't know if you mentioned that. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I tried CS when I was like 14, 15 probably, just on a PC, just like messing around, just playing ranked, but I
Yeah.
never got into it crazy. Um, I think I think I was more into like Minecraft at that time.
Yeah, no, it's funny to hear because Ninja had a really similar journey, I think, in regards to how he felt about Valorant, which was like Fortnite was at a lull point, swaps to Valorant, and it's such like a fresh new challenge that dude disappeared from my life for 5 months because he was going trying to go pro. He's got his teams. This guy, he's then radiant. When I first played my first games of Ninja in Valorant, it was like when your mom is like play with your little cousin. That like game with your little cousin. That's what it's like because you're like, really? Do I have to? Because that fool was sprinting around with his vandal in hand, no idea what's going on, not thinking anything about how loud his footsteps are, just sending it. So I understand that want and drive to be better. If you could want anything for Fortnite competitive, what would it be? What do you think's what would be your first thing you ask for?
Mm, for com- for Fortnite competitive, so like
Is it another
initially.
World Cup?
Oh, okay. Well, if we're going that far, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I would take a whole nother World Cup. What? That'd be so fun to compete in. Lands, I mean, land. That's the number
yeah,
one thing that I'd like to see come back. Just
and
to see how everyone has evolved as players and also people. I mean, like some of the people that I saw at World Cup. It'd be cool to get back with them, see them IRL. Just have a good time. But I think it'd be
Booga,
land.
if I had to put you on the spot right now and
Okay.
have you do a top 10 list of competitive Fortnite players of all time, do you think that would be a hard thing to do?
See,
Or
that
are
that
there
would
players
be.
that come top of mind right away that you think maybe even not even top 10, that's a lot, maybe like a top 5?
I think the hardest thing about that is the fact that I feel like every season there's like a new best player. Not
Yeah,
necessarily a new best player, but like there are people that have been really good for a long time. Obviously, like what people see as like the goats, I guess, people who've been playing from the start. But then it's like, how do you give credit to the new people that are super good at the game? Because the skill gap is so high now, which only
yeah.
means if you're the best now, it kind of comes into question like, would you be the best then? Like, I don't really know how to balance it out between players. So I kind of just see like the top tier players as like just the best players. I can't really put them in an order because obviously some people are good at their own things too. Like there's IGLs, in-game leaders. There's trait fraggers who are good at just killing people, and then sometimes there's that balance, that like that anchor player, that balance player. So
I
it's
think
hard.
what's it? What is it? Tayson? Is that how it's pronounced?
Jason on you, yeah, he.
Tayson on you for sure. For what you've achieved, you've got to put
I could give a
uh,
region one.
Aqua Nyrox. I mean, there's no way you don't say for me Arkram. Maybe that's biased, but that dude, how many times he won at West now?
Six,
6. I mean,
six,
come
yeah,
on. Like, I don't care what you say about West or not.
goat talk, baby, goat talk, come
Yeah.
on.
he's good.
Hell
Um,
yeah, we got the approval, he's good.
I mean,
is there anyone
yeah.
I'm forgetting off the top right there?
I mean, Ark plays with Epic Whale. He's really good too. Rex has
Yep.
dominated for a long time. I think if I don't know if you've ever heard of Reet, but on West, he's really
Yep.
good now too. Um, you said Aqua, Nyrox, Tayson on EU. Um,
What about
I don't know.
NA East?
NA East, there's Mero. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's like a really dominant controller player now.
Yep.
And then I think I think the rest of the NA East players are like it's kind of hard to say who the best on NA East is because like I compete with them every single day, so it's a little bit of an ego thing, but at the same time it's like
100%. Yeah, you don't
yeah.
even have to, brother. What do you think of Mr. Savage? He's still pretty nasty?
Oh yeah, Savage is great. I mean, him and Benji literally like see that's the thing. It's like you talk all-time greats and then like you forget about the obvious ones, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it's
No, I
weird.
put you on the spot, bro. I was just curious as somebody
Oh,
who
yeah, dude.
doesn't know the community as well as you guys, I just was curious what would come off top.
Yeah,
It's
I
wild to
mean
me. This actually been super refreshing to talk about Fortnite for an entire podcast episode. I mean, there's so many things that we could have asked you about aside from the gaming career and all the things that you've been up to. But as somebody who's never really gotten to chat with you, I think it was cool to hear the insight and how you think through things.
yeah, I mean I enjoy talking about Fortnite all the time. Like I'll talk about it for multiple hours, you know, whatever, but I mean,
But
at the core, that's my thing, you know. It's just straight Fortnite. So
do you want to do like say Fortnite died today?
okay,
And of course, you had another game that you might potentially compete in. Maybe it's Valorant or hypotheticals here.
Yep.
But
yeah,
is aiming what you want to do for the rest of your life? Like, is this something that you've thought about consciously? Like, I want to be, whether it's a streamer or a content creator or just working in the gaming industry in general, is this something that you want to see through for a very long time?
yeah. I mean, I guess you could say it's in the blood. You know, my dad played games forever. I'm
Yes,
about
it
to play
is.
games forever. Like it's definitely something I just want to do for a really long time until you know whatever happens. But um, yeah, I don't know.
How
I just love gaming. Like just
and
my thing.
you're 18, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so the other questions that I would have for you are outside of gaming, and I think these are really fun for me just because I think the most, and Jack could probably attest to this, and people that are watching at home can attest to this. You don't. I think I changed the most like in my mid 20s. You know what I mean? 18, I moved out, dropped out of college, all these things, but you really you start to see the world in a different way after you go through certain experiences, and you're sort of like the hard carry, I would say, right now of your age group because you've done something that, like I said before, not a lot of people experience. But have you thought about like, okay, it's time for me to move out, or okay, I need to stop playing less video games and go meet some people because I want to get into a relationship one day. You're so young, and so I don't even know if those thoughts have even transpired yet in your mind, but have you thought about like next steps for your personal life? Are there any milestones that you want to hit? Or right now you're just head down, we got to keep gaming. I got a good life at home. I'm just curious, like where your head's at when you're not thinking about your career.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a balance. Like you said, I have a really good home life. Pretty much got anything I need here, you know, plus family. So that's always good. That's just comforting, you know, just nice
Hmm.
to have. But I remember at one point I wanted to go down to Virginia because that was where like dead zero ping was, and that's where pretty much like you go if you want to compete and you want to be the best player. I mean, you can do it without zero ping, but like I think it would have been a cool experience to you know go down there, meet up with some people, you know, hang out in a team house.
Yeah.
'Cause, that's always been something I kind of want to do, like to do. When I remember watching way back, I remember watching the Call of Duty teams, like Phase. I remember they had a big team house thing going on. I mean, they've been big forever, but I wanted to kind of have the same experience. I remember watching that, and you know, I wanted to experience the same thing. But maybe a little bit down the road I'll do that. But right now, it's kind of just like really good home life, you know, laying back, chilling,
You
competing.
ever you ever watch Optic back in the day?
Optic, well, I mean, Scump has always been literally like
Yeah.
greatest,
Mhm.
but
That's
True. Yeah.
good.
besides that,
Yeah. There's some. There.
You,
Not.
you,
No one else. In that.
you didn't see the house that Scump lived in back in the day?
did you play with him? I mean, that's all I heard back then. I don't know.
Oh man, yo, you are old. That.
Oh man, that's bad.
It's okay, Bugha. It's
All right, my
No, baby,
nah,
it's all
bro,
good. No, no, brother, brother, you are the
that's
goat. You don't even
bad.
no, it's not bad. You're the goat. You don't even know who the fuck I am. But yes, I did live in a house with Scump. It was like the first Optic Team house back in the day when FaZe was doing it in New York. Those are my boys too. All good, baby. No, I just whatever. It's all good. Somebody
That
clip
was
it.
so funny.
Somebody clip it.
I'm sorry, bro.
No,
It's okay.
I'm gonna
All
throw this
right.
on my Instagram. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna farm you for likes.
It's
Please
a
do.
balance. It's all good.
Bugha, you know what? I don't mean to sound too dramatic or try to sound too like philosophical. I'm really happy for you. I think what's amazing is that you talked about how you saved your money. You got a great home life right now, and you've already gone through some things in esports that people will never get to go through. And you're only 18. Like you have so much of your life to live over the next couple years, and you have so much room to just grow and experience new things in your life, and you have such a head start already. You got, I mean, cash isn't the most important thing, but you got like like more than a solid foundation, and you can go do a lot of things that people only dream of doing. So keep doing your thing at Fortnite. Keep your head down. Do what makes you happy. Like I would never like try to steer you away from continuing the grind and competing. But I really I can't wait like one day to talk to Bugha when he's 25 to see what the next 7 years or the last 7 years were like because I just can't imagine being in your shoes right now. It's so different than how a lot of people in esports came up. So I'm just excited to see what you do with it, man. It's fucking awesome. This has been like it's just cool for me to try to put myself in your shoes and think back to how I felt when I was your age. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked on the future of Bugha. Like I want to invest in your stock on Cash App or something.
Suck. Let's go. I appreciate it. I mean, who knows, bro? I don't even see what I'm doing in that long.
You don't need to
Kinda.
know, bro.
Yeah, I'm just thinking Fortnite right now, and there we go. We'll see. Let's
As it should be, brother. But when you get burnt out, come talk to me and I'll help you out. All right.
go.
We'll put together a mood board of like what's next for Bugha. I just I'm so fascinated.
Life help.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, Booga. This was great to catch up and hear from you. It's been far too long, and I largely blame the pandemic for that. So
Yep.
hopefully, with Lance coming back soon, and with Fortnite continuing to stay so strong in competition, and now with you being back on top of NA East, I think there's a lot of great storylines for competitive Fortnite. So if you're out there right now watching this and you maybe haven't tuned in or played a bunch in a while, right now is arguably the best time in the last 2 years, or since the World Cup to hop on in and play. So, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone, go follow Booga down in the description if you somehow don't already. Booga, like, I mean, I guess I'll see you online in arena, bro, where you get
Wait,
boxed
Yeah.
like a fish. And
Yeah. I'll be coning you, bro. Good luck.
okay, okay, dude.
wait,
Yeah,
Bugha,
true.
tell your dad that you and I should one on one to see who gets to take your room. Like let's like play one on one for living situations.
I'll get you in contact with Dorf. That's my dad. Dorf dad. Is his
Shout out
name.
Or
Dorf, that's my boy
I
already.
think
I could tell I like him.
I still got his number, Nate. Shot. I'll text him and
I
we'll figure
yeah,
something out.
I think Bugha genuinely needs to 1v1 me in Halo now after I just got
I'm
sunned.
down. I'm down. You can put me in my place. That's fine.
Bro, I gotta get some respect back on my name after getting
Sorry. Yeah.
literally world star by an 18-year-old phenom. This is my day, dude. I gotta go home and tell my girlfriend about this now, boo. She might break up with me.
I'm sorry, bro.
And this is your
Sorry.
my dog might not even like come to me when I call him. This is fucked up.
Oh man, that is great. Well, after Nate Shot got humbled and Booga said I'm trash at Fortnite, it seems like it's a perfect time to end this episode of the Courage and Nate Shot Show. Thank you so much for watching. Go follow Booga down below. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Peace.
So much pain.